Alright, guys, part two of the critique session. This is for Khaled, uh, my friend Gabriel. He's really good. I'm gonna uh, post, have the link to his Instagram in the description box. Again, guys, if you want to get your work critiqued, join Patreon for the $15 or as long as you spend more than $15, so 3 months as a Patreon, you'll be able to get your work critiqued. So this is submitted by Khaled on Discord. There's only a couple of things that I would work on. He said that can change the design if I want to, but I think it's fine. There's enough stuff to actually build on top. That's pretty good. You can take this and just push it further. You have the arm here, all the stuff that are going. This is pretty good. Yeah, let's jump in and see what I can do to push this further. I'm gonna clean the edges here just to make this more of a finished product. So, as usual, guys, I'll jump to the face and try and fix a little bit of the rendering on the face. So let's go with my round brush. So the most obvious thing that actually jumped to me when I'm looking at this, shadows. So you have the shadow here, which is off. You have the shadow here, which is off. Makes this horn looks like it's flat compared to this one here. Then you have, I think the rendering, the edge control you have on your shapes. These need to be tweaked as well. Other than that, I feel that this is in a good state where you can actually continue working. We might add some stuff to the design, but overall it looks pretty good. It has those iconic eyes that Khaled has on characters. All right, so first thing first, the eyes. Just make sure that like this curve not jagged. Just a little bit, and then needs to be in shadow. So this is my blend brush. Oh. Alright, so there's an issue in the nose. Again, guys, hardest part. Nose and the eyes. Alright, so zooming in. So I'm just nitpicking here because this is already good and there's smaller stuff that could be added to make it look kind of finished, complete. Okay, let's alright, I'm gonna change to black and white and it's darker. So from this angle we're going to see the other side of the nose. That let's add more shadow. Well, yeah, something like this, maybe. So I think the problem here is that the distance between the nose and the upper lip is too much. So we have a couple of options to do. We can make the upper lip thicker, or we can make the nose longer. So try the first option. Maybe something like this. I think this works, kinda. Is there shadow for the nose? I don't know. Without a reference, it's very hard to tell. But I think this looks good. Now adding this highlight here brings this curve, so it makes the nose kind of stand out. It's down. Okay. All right. Next, let's go darker here. Okay, now the usual filter liquify. Gonna change a little bit like the shape of the nose. Now this is personal taste. Like this. Try to adjust the lips as well. Lower lip. There we go. Yeah, much better. Okay, now I'm gonna switch. So here's the problem with the rendering. Like, I'm not sure what's happening here. This is where like having a reference is very important. So we have the ball of the nose, which needs to be defined, and maybe do that a little bit, and then we can add the highlight. Then a little bit more shadow here, just to show that this is separate. The shape a little bit. We need this to be very soft. We don't want very hard edges, especially for a female. I'm going to avoid adding those. And then we can maybe add the highlight. So I think it's just the position of the highlight was off. Supposed to be here, because this is a sphere at the end. Okay. Again, maybe Khaled's using a reference and it's different there, so blur the edges of the pupil. And to bring the corner of the eye more, we have to add more shadows here. This way, this area becomes more highlighted. We can have a little bit more. Now, without colors, it's hard to tell what is design and what is rendering, but I'll try to maybe add a little bit more light up. Oops. What else should I do? Yeah, we can have more highlights here. Again, this is just a trick to bring the nose forward to make it look like it's 3D and not just rendered on a plane. Now we can add a new layer, go to my soft brush, go to multiply. So I'm going to darken this shadow here. The problem with reflected light, it shouldn't be as light as the highlighted areas. So I knock that back a little bit more. We need definitely more shadows here. Okay, what else? Okay, this is way too sharp for my liking, so add a new layer. I'm going to render with my soft brush. I think it's like the issue in general where mostly like just edge control. Very obvious here. Especially on the rib cage here. Not sure what's happening. It's hard to tell when you have like soft and hard, like feels like she's sculpted out of marble and not kind of like a finished product in a way. Shadows. Usually I start with soft brush as well. Then it's easier this way. Like soft brush, go back with your hard edge. Edge control that you need to do. Okay. Now we can add the shadows that are needed. We have this here, the horn on top. You can see already looks more 3D. Smaller steps. All of this we bring shadow to the side. Same thing goes to the horn. Now rendering these horns gonna be a nightmare. What I would usually do is just model them in 3D and grab that, slap it on top, artwork. Maybe something like this. Now this area here, usually it's gonna be, so I'm gonna do this on a different layer. And this back a little bit. Go with darken. This area. Go. Layer. I would avoid like adding the vague stuff until like I'm done with the rendering. At that point. That point it's gonna be easy to first layer. Oh, okay, something like that. Add the new layer. Darken. Much better. Okay. Down. Focus on the body. I'm gonna continue with my soft brush. And let's flip. So the most obvious thing is just go in and fix the edges. Make everything a little bit softer. Let's try to create the form first, and then anything needs to be like a hard edge. Do that later. But at this stage, these are like way too. Looking back at this, I think needs to add more shadow as well here. This darken. Let's go back to the body. So I'm working with soft brush and my smudge brush. Ooh. So some of these details are just way too much. Okay to have the muscle details, but you hide them a little bit, not make them so obvious. That adds a little bit to the beauty overall. Now we can do this, so we select the highlights like that. Fix this. I'm not sure what's happening here. I mean, rendering the body is gonna be hard. Spend a couple of hours just doing that. Be like for maybe quick fix. Okay, so what's happening here? We need the like muscle here, chest muscle. Up. This is the only like shape we're gonna see. Like we have the muscle goes here under the shoulder, then we have the breast here. Alright, now we can switch to my hard edge brush. This one here. Opacity is 80. Now we can. Some of those edges. So we can have add light here. You can see like I'm adding patch of value, like dark value, and then use my smudge tool. Fading on one side and then it's hard edge. Trying to mimic the same design here and here. I'm not very good with this area, so not quite sure like what's happening here. The reference in order to render area here. Yes. Alright, so I really like what Ella did with this area here, so I would mimic that somewhere else. This is, I think, what is missing with the design a little bit. Maybe something like that. And you need to add this everywhere else. So okay. So now it's totally up to the artist and what add more to the character, but I would take the elements that are already here, try to design something with them where just to show that it's all like unified. So I would take these for example and have them here. And I will take these as well and try to here. Sure if the final design is gonna be like that. Wearing anything for the top part, but yeah. I would definitely stuff here. And probably have some stuff here as well. So we're kind of surrounding the body, the hair outfit. Okay, this. I'd probably like add some stuff here. Something like that. As for this, I'm not sure if it's a snake or tail or wings. Not quite sure, so zoom in. If it's snakes, then I would definitely photo bash these. Render them. Shadows. Alright, we can maybe add a little bit of highlight here. Will show that the curve on the... I think this is it, honestly. Maybe crop the image. Alright, so in general, I would focus on the face first. Try to the rendering on the face. Try to knock back the... Feels like there's a flash from the camera, and this is what you have here. Just the like controlling the shadows overall. It's not quite clear. Like you have very hard edge here, then nose is kind of lost. From the body, it feels like the light's coming from here, but from the nose, it feels like the light coming from here. Let's try to unify all of this. Light coming from the top. We have the shadow here, the shadow here. The face, we have this V shape now. So everything closer to the light. Maybe we can add here a highlight. Like this, maybe. So closer to the light, we have highlight, and then as we move down, we have shadows. Same with the body. Can even have a new layer. Like add more shadows. But this is the main area of focus, so everything else we can bring back to shadows. Apply. So now we have the focus on the head and maybe the upper torso. And duplicate and then go filter, blur. More blur. Go normal. Green. And Control L to bring the level back. But yeah. Now we have this bloom effect. But this is nice. This works pretty well. You can also maybe duplicate everything. Control Alt Shift E. Go filter, filter gallery. This, okay. Try again. Have this I. Yeah. So now it's more. It feels like more of a stylized comic. I was trying this lately, and it's kind of worked. Like I can add now a new layer. Go to my ink brush. And do a little bit more like precise inking. I feel this is like a cheaper way to ink to render. So you start with the render first, and then you do the quick ink effect. I know it's cheap, but it has a nice touch. Anyway, this is it for this one. Overall, like this is a good work, and just a little bit of edge control, and more time in the rendering, and end up with some like really good results. Yeah, Again, guys, if you want to have your work critiqued, join Patreon, become a supporter, hit me up on Discord. I do this once a month, at the end of the month usually. And yeah, submit your stuff on Discord once you get the email on Patreon. Tell me on Discord what is it that you want to do exactly with your image, or what is it that you're focusing on. Maybe it's rendering, is it character design, and so on. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. I'll have the links in the description box. I have the link for Khaled as well. But yeah, until next month, guys. Thanks for watching.